Good day, everyone. Now, I will discuss the DNR Priority Program, the Manila Bay Cleanup Program in the Manila Bay area. The goal develop and rehabilitated irrigation facilities, improve resiliency and adaptive capacity to flood, sediment disaster, conserve and protect rehabilitated watershed, and sustainable and well managed wetland and ecosystem. The DNR or DNR Priority Program, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, is the executive department of the Philippine government responsible for governing, supervising the exploration, development, utilization, and conservation of the country's natural resources. So the priority activity is a implementation of operational plan for the Manila Bay Coastal Strategy 2017 to 2022. So on January 27, 2019, the DNR Secretary Roy A. Simato officially declared the start of Manila Bay rehabilitation at the Baywalk in Manila. So we're about 5,000 individuals, mostly representing the 13th Mandamos Agency, local government units in the private sector with the commitment and determination of every Filipino to do the share in this rehabilitation effort. So we have the DNR and the stakeholders address the water quality problems, source of pollution, and the beneficial use of receiving water bodies. So they also determine what um, what control measure to institute to effectively achieve water quality objectives or improvement. So let's proceed to the next slide. The Manila Bay Cleanup Program. So the Manila Bay Cleanup Program, it aims to restore the water quality of Manila Bay in accordance with the writ of continuing mandamus of the Supreme Court. So the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or the DNR, has continued the efforts to clean and restore the historic Manila Bay. So reduce pollution from the croplands into the Manila Bay, reduce agricultural waste of contributing to pollution of Manila Bay, and conserve, rehabilitate, and manage micro-watershed and soil resources. Next is Manila Bay Clean Area. So the Manila Bay Clean Area, the Supreme Court in 2019 issued an order penalizing Metro Manilas and two private water concessionaires, as well as the Metropolitan Water Works sewage system with 1.84 billion pesos in combined fines due to their failure to connect household to a sewage system and their lack of wastewater treatment facilities. So Simato, add or additional water quality monitoring station have been installed along the Baywalk area. So the Manila Bay rehabilitation is a top priority of the government until 2022 with 42.95 billion fund allotted for the implementation of the project. So, to address this concern, the Manila Bay Environmental Management Project is currently being implemented in the National Capital Region, or the NCR. So, in the eight provinces of Bataan, Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, Pampanga, Rizal, Nueva Ecija, and Tarlac. So, the Manila Bay is an important economic resource with competing uses too. The largest harbor in country is located in Manila Bay, so with a primary port services catering to both national and international maritime traffic. The increasing urbanization of Manila, however, has destroyed the coastal habitats and estuaries, which serve as spawning grounds of many economically important fishes. So the Manila Bay faced a serious environmental problem, the red tide, which is caused by the bloom of harmful is causing by paralytic shellfish poisoning. The water quality of Manila Bay has continually deteriorated due to increased discharge of domestic and industrial waste and pesticides. So, in addition, the management of Manila Bay is hampered by socio-political and integrity conflicts. So, to address the numerous environmental issue affecting the bay, the Manila Bay Environmental Management Project was established. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources has organized a project management office, or the PMO. Next, the we have the phase one, clean up water quality improvement. So clean up of designated sterils in waterways, reduced A-level and toxic discharge from houses and establishment, commercial, industrial, and educational establishment. Inspect and repair leaks in old sewer lines, and provide temporary sanitation facilities to informal and implement solid waste management, and last is start planning for the relocation. The phase two, the rehabilitation and resettlement. So rehabilitation of old sewer line in NCR or the National Capital Region, and relocation of informal, and to ensure the completion of Maynila and Maynila Water by 2022. Phase three, the education and sustainment. So continuing education of citizens to protect against sustain law enforcement and monitoring in the fast tracking sewage system in Metro Manila. The Manila Bay area covers 8 provinces and 178 local government units and 3 regions of the country, or the National Capital Region. Region 3 and Region 4 of the 8 provinces, we have a coastal and the non-coastal. And for the coastal, we have a Bataan, Bulacan, Cavite, and Pampanga. And for the non-coastal, we have Laguna, Nueva Ecija, Rizal, and Tarlac. So, its drainage area covers 1,994 kilometer, or 199,400 hectares. So the coastline measures some 190 kilometers. So there are 17 principal river systems draining to Manila Bay. The first one, the Angat River. The Angat River, also called a Bulacan River. So a river in the Philippines located in the province of Bulacan. So it flows from the Sierra Madre mountain range to Manila Bay. So 3 dams are located along the river, which is Angat, the Ipo, and the Bustos. The catchment or basin area of the river is 1,085 square kilometer, located in the Angat Watershed Forest Reserve. Next, the Bukayo River. The Bukayo River is a stream in Bulacan and has a elevation of 6 meters. The Bukayo River is situated north of Obihan, close to Mailad River. The next is the Maria River. Maria River is a river in the province of Bulacan, Philippines, so stretching for 31 kilometers. So it ranked number 6 in the top 19 most polluted rivers in the world by the Conserve Energy Future, according to the website. So the river is home to millions of Philippines residents use the water for drinking and also for irrigation. The next is the Marilao River. The Marilao River uh, flows through the Bulacan province, Philippines, and empties in the Manila Bay. So the main source of polluting this river are tanneries, textile factors, and piggeries, and municipal dams. So the pollution of the river is mostly from waste from tanners and dumpings. So the dumping of non-recyclable materials such as plastic bottles present on the surface of the water. So in addition to this, uh, the water has rock bearing heavy metal which uh, pose a health hazard to the resident. Next is the Mikaoyan River. The Mikaoyan River system is cited as one of the 30 most polluted rivers in the world by Blacksmith Institute in 2008, due to huge discharge and accumulation for years of industrial and domestic pollutants. So traverse the central region of Luzon Island, which one of the highest pollution or population growth rates in the country, and feeds directly the Manila Bay. So understanding its ecologically and developing a rehabilitation strategy is very important. Next, we have the Micaoyan Valenzuela River. So the city of Valenzuela is located on an area which is susceptible to frequent typhoons and intense tropical storms. So the topographic characteristics show that about 25% of the city is below sea level, making drainage very difficult. So the combination of above factors exposes Venezuela City to frequent and severe flooding as the existing system can no longer cope. So in addition to the impact due to climate change. Next, we have the Pasig River. So the Pasig River is a river in the Philippines that connect in Laguna de Bay to Manila Bay. So stretching for 25.2 kilometers, bisects the Philippines, capital of Manila, and its surrounding urban area into northern and southern. So its major tributaries are in the Marikina and San Juan River. So the total drainage basin of Pasig River, including the basin of Laguna de Bay, covers 4,678 square kilometer. So the Pasig River is technically a tidal estuary as the flow direction depends upon the water level difference between Manila Bay and Laguna de Bay. So during the dry season, the water level in Laguna de Bay is low with the river flow direction dependent on the tide. So during the wet season, when the water level of Laguna de Bay is high, the flow is reversed towards the Manila Bay. Next, we have a Parañaque. Parañaque, also known as Tambo River, so it's a river in Metro Manila in the Philippines. So it's located in south of Manila, passing through Pasay and Parañaque. So located near in Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Next, we have a Imus River. Imus River, the Department of Public Works and Highways will take advantage of the dry season of 2022 to deliver the full completion of overflow dikes in Imus and Bacoor, retarding basin of the flood risk management project for Imus River. So, in this report to DPWH Secretary Mark A. Villar, the DPWH Undersecretary for Unified Project Management Office Operation and Technical Services. Next, the Yangyang River. The Yangyang River was commissioned to undertake the environmental and social safeguard activities for the flood risk management project. So for Yangyang River, the province of Cavite, this DPWH project involves the construction of two retarding basin in general trials. So the Cavite retarding basin, approximately 48 hectares, while retarding basin 2 is approximately 24 hectares. Next, the Rio Grande. The Rio Grande is the longest river and the largest river by the discharge volume of water in the Philippines. So it has a total length of approximately 505 kilometer and a drainage basin covering 27,753 square kilometer. Next, the Obando River. So the Obando River is a system in the province of Bulacan. It's the focus of cleanup project being spearheaded by the stakeholder group composed of government agencies, the LGU, the industrials, and the socio-civic organization. So the major causes of pollution have effluents that contain heavy metals, organic waste, and other hazardous materials from the industries. So it considered also to be a hotspot of water quality. But so what this heavy metals that detect in the Obando River. So, some of the heavy metal detect in the Marilao-Mikaoyan-Obando River system are the mercury, chromium, arsenic, and some synthetic organic compounds. Next, we have a Navotas Malabon Tulahan River. The Malabon and Nabotas River, two of most flood-prone area in Metro Manila, report no major flooding incident despite the recent of two typhoons, so primarily due to the government installation of pumping station, complemented by the continuous degrading of the Tulahan River. So for me, there are many factors that lead to flooding. Some are natural occurring, but many are man-made. Next, the Talisay River. The Talisay River is one of the major river in Bataan in the main river of Talisay watershed. So it also serves as the main drainage of Pilar Town in the city of Balanga, that is approximately 13 kilometers. So Talisay has two rivers and 15 creeks comprising its waterway system. Next, the Guagua River. So the Guagua River is traversed by several creeks and tributaries during rainy days, so which collect and convey flood water to the Guagua River and into the Manila Bay. So the basin are vulnerable to flooding primarily because of its low elevation and flat terrain, its proximity to Manila Bay, where tides impede the river and creek flow several kilometers upstream and narrow the self waterways brought largely by eventful Mount Pinatubo eruption. Next, the Pampanga River. So the Pampanga River is the largest river on the island of Luzon in the Philippines, so shall become the most economically advanced river basin in the country that shall attain the lowest incidence of poverty, fully restored watershed and ecosystem, properly utilized and managed water resource. So, modern infrastructure facilities and empower citizens and partnership with transparent, accountable, and development-oriented leaders. Next, we have the DNR Administrative Order Number 34 define a coastal and marine water under Class CB classification for regular use for swimming and skin diving and etc. Next, we have the 13th Mandamus Agency uh, are as follows. We have a DNR, the DILG, DepEd, DUH, DA, DPWH, DBM, Philippine Coast Guard, Philippine National Police Maritime Group, Philippine Ports Authority, Metropolitan Manila Development, Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewage System, and Local Water Utilities Administration. For the DNR, the IC ordered the agency to fully implement the operational plan for the Manila Bay Coastal Strategy and regular coordination or the coordinate with uh, Mandamos Agency and other concerned agency and the manage water quality of Manila Bay through standard setting regular monitoring and determination of water quality management areas. So the Mandamos is disseminating removal and illegal structure along the following waterways. So first, the Pasig Marikina San Juan River. The next is the Parañaque Zapote Las Piñas River. And third, the Navotas Malabon Tulahan Tinajeros. And last is the river in Bulacan. That's the end of my discussion. But before I end my discussion, I want to conclude that how flood affects our environment. So, a flood is by a far negative occurrence. Heavy flooding can have a damaging effect on our environment. So, in other infrastructures in it. So, first, they can destroy houses and make them inhabitable. Also, they can remove sand from the farmland, making it difficult to grow crops. So, aside from the above, flooding also contaminates clean water, causing a disease and ailments. So, flooding can directly impact the health and well-being of wildlife and livestock. So, the Manila Bay has a wide range of environmental problems that need to be addressed from land-based and sea-based source so, of pollution to harmful groundwater extraction and overexploitation of fishery resources and habitat conversion and degradation. So, however, there are reasons to be optimistic, significant, and increasing infrastructure investment to treat and reduce domestic sewage discharge into the bay. So, the implementation of Manila Bay Environmental Management Project. So, that's it. The next reporter will be discussed the other facts and figure about Manila Bay, improve land administration and management, scaling up coastal and marine ecosystem program, and last, enhance biodiversity conservation.